Your brain resists quitting sugar, and it's actually by design. If you've tried to quit sugar before and failed, this episode will explain why. And why, when you start with changing what you eat, it's actually the reason why this never sticks. This episode, it's taken from part of day one of Quit Sugar in 5 days. So you're not removing food, you're not counting calories, you're not relying on willpower or discipline. You are learning a specific sequence, and it all starts with nervous system regulation. Because if your brain feels unsafe, it's always going to go back to the sugar. In this episode, you're going to understand how stress and chaos and emotional overload, they just hijack your brain, and why cravings, they're not a food problem. And you'll also understand what we are building over the next 5 days so that you can quit sugar without fighting against yourself. Because there is a small admission fee to join this experience, I am sharing 2/3 of day one. I'm not sharing all of it. So you can get a sneak peek of what it's all about and then decide if you want to join. Welcome to day one. I am so excited to share with you what I created for you, not just today, but this entire week. I'm your host, Holly Bertone. You are not here because you want to quit sugar in 5 days. You are here because you felt a calling. You are here because you know the effect that sugar has had on your life. You are here because sugar controls those obsessive thoughts in your head from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You are here because there is not enough sugar in the world that you can consume to actually satisfy you. And the more you eat, the more you want to eat. You are here because you've tried to do this before and it's never worked. You're here because something about what I said, it stirred something inside of you. There's this crazy FBI chick and she's now an emotional eating coach. Like, I don't get it. She's a little weird, a lot weird. But I know this is the message that I need to hear right now at this time in my life. And if you're thinking any of that, I want to be perfectly clear. You are in the right place. Now, I want you to shift these thoughts to how you are going to show up this week. And I want you to think about it from this perspective that say, hey, even though I'm doubtful, even though I've failed every single time in the past, I still have hope that I can succeed with at least one thing this week. I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to play full out. I'm going to show up as my best self over these next 5 days. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. I want you to make that commitment to yourself right now. And I also want to be perfectly clear with expectations. At the end of these 5 days, angels are not going to sing, puppies are not going to kiss your face. This isn't one of those everything in your life is fixed in 5 days. This is not some kind of miracle cure. This is just the start of the process. My one and only goal is to help you to start stacking those wins so that you can have a repeatable process and you know exactly what to do. And here's why it is so important to have this repeatable process. It's because when someone says they want to quit sugar, they want to lose weight, they want to cut back on junk food, they whatever, what's the first thing they do? They remove the bad food and then they eat more of the, healthy food, and then they're going to rely on willpower and discipline to get it to stick. This is what everyone teaches. It's exactly what I was taught in my 4 certifications between health and nutrition and metabolic health. But let me ask you this. How many times have you done it this way? And how long did it actually last? Chances are you joined this challenge because, and you're showing up here. You're showing up here with a lot of skepticism, and you join the challenge despite that skepticism. Because you know this is something new and something different. So it's just natural that skepticism is going to be there. You might be wondering, Holly, will this work for me? I have zero control around sugar. I fail every time I do this. When I have a craving, I eat. I can't stop. Sugar is the only thing that keeps me happy. I have a stressful job. I have a family that's going to rebel against me. I eat when I'm stressed. I eat when I'm angry. I eat when I'm overwhelmed. I eat when I'm anxious. I eat when I'm bored. I eat to reward myself. I eat when I'm on the couch watching TV. I eat to celebrate. I make everything an occasion to celebrate. You are here because every single time you've tried to quit sugar or even go on a diet, life threw you some kind of curveball, and then it was just easier to go back to your old ways. You lost your keys, you lost your phone, the kid forgot their homework, you had to stay late at work. There was traffic, someone in your family got sick, you're on vacation, you're out to eat, the service is up, there's a dessert tray, it's cake day at the office. No one ever stops to connect the dots between the daily chaos and the stress and our sugar cravings. No one ever stops to think about it. If you're reacting to everything all day long, you are at the mercy of everyone else's agenda, and your only agenda is to take care of everyone, to keep the peace, which makes it almost automatic to reach for the sugar because that's the one and only place that feels like home. No one ever stops to connect the dots between the crazy and stressful and chaotic life, which is not going to slow down anytime soon, and our cravings. And if you stop and think about it, you already know the answer. But here's the thing, you don't wake up like, I'm operating from my system one automatic and emotional brain, and I'm eating when I'm stressed. So I need to regulate my nervous system so I can operate out of my system two brain and make more logical decisions. Because that's way too weird and way too sciencey, and it's just easier to rely on willpower. Chances are you are here with me in this challenge because those diets and the willpowers, they haven't worked. Yet we keep going back to this over and over and over again because that's the only playbook that's been drilled into our heads since we were teenagers. What you eat is the last thing that I want you to think about. Raise your virtual hand if you felt a little anxious when I said that. Or you're like, but, Holly, this is how we do things. It's calorie in, calorie out. That's the only way. Raise your virtual hand if you felt yourself starting to fight against yourself. If your brain already started to take you down this path of the but, or the justifications, or the this won't work because. Follow the logic with me. I want you to think about the difference between owning a house and renting a house. Now, the first home that I owned, it was a condo in a building. And I was actually renting it before I owned it. I did one of those rent to own deals with the landlord. So I rented the place for 2 years and then I bought it. Well, you want to know what I did? The very first thing that I did after I bought the home, after I signed the papers and I'm driving home, I haven't even gotten home yet. I stopped at Home Depot and I bought a small ladder. A ladder. That was the first thing I did because now I went from renting to owning. Now I am in charge of maintaining the condition of my home. I was not renting anymore. I was an owner. This is the emotional eating forensics framework that we are going to cover this week. This is how we are going to weaponize your brain to your advantage. And I want you to look at the tiny little triangle at the very top of the pyramid that says what you eat. That tiny little triangle, what you eat, this is you renting a diet from someone. This is you renting the calories to eat. And this is why it is temporary. What we are going to do over these next 5 days, this is more than just buying a home instead of renting it. What we are actually going to do, we are going to build that foundation from to completion. And we're going to do it one step at a time. So this is your forever home. That little triangle at the top, what you eat, that's throw pillows we pick out. So I want you to think about it this way. I want you to actually answer this question. Do you just want the throw pillows? Or do you want your forever home? Do you want the agency and the sovereignty that is rightfully yours? The diets, they come and go. The sugar comes and goes. I am here to give you something that no one can take away from you. I'm here to help you get completely off the market so that when sugar comes knocking at your door and sugar's trying to steal you away, you're like, nope, I am good. This is how we are going to do this. Day one today, it's about nervous system regulation. This is how you react. Day two is identity. It is who you are. Day three, predictable patterns, what you think. Day four is your behavior and mindsets. This is what you do. Day five is eat. This is what you consume. And it may sound basic. It may sound weird. It may sound different. All I'm asking is that you keep an open mind this week and just follow the process. Within the emotional eating forensics framework, it's a 3-step process: see it, stop it, shift it, which we will cover briefly this week. And then after the challenge, if you want more support, you can get access inside the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator. Okay, do you remember Mr. Potato Head? Mr. Potato Head, you could mix and match all of the different parts. It was like this fun little toy. I want you to think about all of those different triggers that I mentioned that cause you to reach for the sugar. So over these next 5 days, you're not just building your dream home, you're actually creating this modular system to mix and match all of the different modalities so that you can actually neutralize those cravings. So when you have to work late and you're eyeing up the candy in the break room, you're going to have that Mr. Potato the Mr. Potato Head piece to grab in the moment to snap it into place. Your cravings have patterns, and the more you understand them, the more agency and sovereignty you have over them. In fact, anytime over these next 5 days, when you have that light bulb moment, or whenever you have this idea that you want to own as your own, I want you to say the word potato. We got that? Potato. So my ultimate goal is to give you a repeatable system so that you can become immune to those cravings, even in the middle of all of the daily stress and the chaos, because your goal is for this to work despite the craziness, despite the stressful life, despite all of the chaos in life. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this, pun intended. If you just show up and listen and take notes and just watch the stuff in the challenge portal, you are not going to get a result. I guarantee it. But when you show up with this passion of, I'm here to learn a new skill and I'm going to repeat this skill over and over again until I get it, that right there, that, my friend, this is when you and I start to work together to become that dream team. And if you've tried this 100 times in the past and you failed, I guarantee you have never done it this way before. This is a learnable skill, but it is one that has to be repeated. It's just like potty training a puppy. You don't take the puppy out once and it's potty trained. No, you have to take it outside every 1 or 2 hours. You do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. You do it when it's freezing cold. You do it when it's raining. And then every time the potty goes the peepees and the poopies, and the puppy goes the peepees and the poopies, every time it goes potty, you give it a little reward. That is the only way you potty train a puppy. You repeat the thing even when you don't want to repeat the thing, even when it's not convenient, even when life gets lifey. And I want to take a pause here. I want to make sure this is sinking in. We haven't even gotten into day one content, and I'm going to share that in a minute. But before I jump in, though, I want to ask you two very important questions, and I want you to write this down. This is important. This is actually part 1 of today's homework. So you can write this on a Post-it note, keep it by your computer as you're going through the challenge, and I'll also have the homework in the notes in the portal as well. What is the big reason you are here? What is the big reason you are here? Because it's not to quit sugar. It's what you are going to get on the other side. What is that? And then what is the realistic result of what you want to get at the end of those 5 days? What is the realistic result you want to get at the end of the 5 days? Now, before I give you part 2 of the homework, I need to share a story. So, I have a pug, and his name is Hannibal. If you think that's funny, you're my people. So, anyway, one day I let Hannibal out the back door, and I have this retractable leash. So, I put him on the retractable, I open up the door, and then he just goes out, he runs out, he goes potty, and he comes right back. So, I let him out, and I see my neighbor, raise my hand, I'm like, "Hi, neighbor," and he waved back. And the neighbor, so the house is behind me, so I would say I'm not good at distance, maybe half a football field, give or take. So his golden retriever was out, but I did not realize the golden retriever was not on a leash. And the next thing I know, the golden retriever is running full steam ahead towards Hannibal. Okay. I love dogs, but I do not know this dog other than seeing it in the yard once in a while. I do not know this dog. I do not know the dog's intentions. I don't know how the dog has been raised. I don't know if this dog wants to play or if this dog wants to eat Hannibal for a snack. All I know is that I have a 20-pound baby child that I need to get inside of the house ASAP. So I'm pulling on the retractable. I'm trying to get Hannibal back inside. And Hannibal complied until he got right at the door. And when he got right at the door, instead of coming inside, he turned to face the golden retriever charging at him. He dug in his heels. He stood his ground and he started barking like there were 10 Amazon delivery guys lined up at the door. He lost his ever freaking mind. Here's the thing. So I'm reacting with my instincts to pull Hannibal in and to get him to safety. But his one and only animal instinct was to protect mom and to protect his home, even in the face of danger, even when the safest option was for him to come inside. If you only remember one thing, if this is the only thing you remember from these 5 days, I want it to be this. Your primal brain is always going to kick in first, and your primal brain is always going to defend what is familiar. Always. Your primal brain is always going to act like Hannibal, barking at danger, protecting the house. Meaning, you're going to be presented with a lot of new concepts this week. And these new concepts are going to try to pull you inside the house where it is safe and warm. But your brain is going to do what it's designed to do. Your brain is going to do what it is literally designed to do. It is going to stand its ground, it's going to dig its heels in, and it is going to bark to try to defend your old beliefs. And honestly, this is not just here in the challenge. This is any time in life you try to make a change in anything in life. Your brain is going to do this. Your brain likes what is familiar. Your brain likes what is safe. Your brain likes what is predictable. Anything new is going to challenge your brain, and your brain's going to be like, I don't trust this. So your brain will do what it does best. It's going to stand its ground and it is going to bark. What does this mean for you? The barking voices in your head. This is dumb. I can't do this. This is overwhelming. I'm going to fail. I don't have the time to do this. I've got to do this other thing instead. I'll come back to this. This is never going to work. Homework number 2, write this down. This is important. Homework number 2 is I want you to track every single time. In fact, keep a separate page. Keep a separate page for this. I want you to track every single time your inner pug starts to bark and defend the house. I want you to write down the thoughts that come up. And I want you to write down what is going on when those thoughts come up. Was it something that in the training that you were watching? Was it something when you were doing your homework? Was it when you saw a piece of chocolate and your brain's like, that one bite's not going to kill you? I want you to write it down. And then I want a daily report. Seriously, send me an email with what your pug is barking about. There's no right or wrong answer. You're not going to get graded. In fact, I can't even promise I will respond, but I do promise that I will read it. This is not about me. This is about you starting to see the repetition and starting to see the awareness of the process. And here's the other cool part is that at some point you are going to forget to do this. And at whatever point you forget and then you remember again, you're like, oh, shoot, I was supposed to do that. Write that down too. Because this is another part of your brain's protection strategy as well. It's like, I'm just going to forget the new thing that I'm supposed to do. And by the end of this week, you're going to be surprised at the patterns that you start to see emerging. And the best part is that once you start to see those patterns, they're going to be like right in front of you. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can't unsee this. Now, later this week, you are going to get a very specific strategy to help you quit sugar. And the more you do this assignment, the more you do this homework assignment, the more this strategy that you're going to learn later in the week is going to work in your favor. Okay, let me ask you this. Are you wondering what happened to Hannibal? Like, are you wondering how the story ended? Whether the golden got to Hannibal and they started playing, or the golden attacked Hannibal, or I got Hannibal inside? Like, were you actually wondering what was going on? I want you to raise your virtual hand if you're wondering what happened to Hannibal. This is because your brain wants closure. And we're going to talk about why that's important and what this has to do with sugar. Just give me one more minute. Fortunately, yes, I was able to pull him in. The golden actually seemed completely harmless and just wanted to play. And it went right back to its house. So no harm, no foul, everything was fine. Okay, speaking of animals and primal instincts, inside your challenge portal in day 1, there is a 16-minute audio that I want you to listen to, and I just want to give you a little bit of context. This was edited down from a 2-hour on-stage keynote that I gave at the PMI Denver Women in Project Management Leadership Conference. Now, I want you to listen to this audio because it breaks down our primitive brain. And here's the context of it. God gave every single animal its own unique survival mechanism in the face of when it's threatened. So you think about like a chihuahua. What does a chihuahua do when it feels threatened? It's going to bark really loud. What does a turtle do when it feels threatened? It's going to hide in its shell. Have you ever noticed that some people, bark really loud when they feel threatened, or they go into hiding? I mean, maybe that's you. Well, we have 4 stress responses. It's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. These are the different things that we do when we are stressed or when we feel threatened. And this 16-minute audio, it's going to break down. It's got different animals attached to each category. I'm not going to repeat it here, but I just wanted to give you some context. If you have a chance to listen to it, please do that. But I want you to think back to Hannibal defending the home. At the time, okay, so Hannibal's there, the golden's coming at him, he feels like he's in danger, he's standing his ground and he is barking. Was he thinking about eating dinner? No. Was he thinking about playing fetch? No. Was he thinking about his next nap? No. He was 100% laser focused on defending his home. This is the sympathetic stress response in action. Okay, we're going to get a little meta here, so just follow along closely. I'm going to give you some scenarios, and I want you to think about these scenarios from the perspective of, is this me most of the time? Most of the time, not all the time, not every day. Is this me most of the time? When you wake up, are you calm and rested, or do you have an entire to-do list going through your head before you even get out of bed? Are you rushing around trying to get everyone out of the house and get yourself out of the house? And then how do you feel when you're rushing to get out of the house? Something happens, you lose your keys, or something happens that kind of throws you off schedule. Do you get annoyed? And then what is your state when you're driving to work? Are you calm or are you anxious? And then what does your normal work day look like? Are you calm or are you stressed and rushing around? And then what about after work? How's the transition to home stuff? Do you get a break or do you just go right into all of your family responsibilities? And then what about dinner? Do you have the bandwidth to thoughtfully prepare a meal, or are you just rushing to get dinner on the table, just slapping together whatever you have? And then after dinner, are you consuming the news and social media? Are you getting worked up with everything going on in the world? Okay, you have your answers to these questions. And I want to get real with you. You go 100 miles an hour all day long. Your brain only knows one speed, and that is fast. You are literally living 24/7 in the sympathetic stress state. You're wired to make quick decisions, to get quick results, and you've got all these competing priorities. Like, you are wired to just go, go, go. So at 9 o'clock at night, you're on the couch and you're watching Netflix, your body is still in the sympathetic stress state. And you're trying to come down for the night, and you're trying to come down, you're trying to turn on that parasympathetic peace state. But because you have trained your body and your brain to just go full speed every single day, your body is still in the sympathetic stress state. And now your brain is going into dopamine withdrawal because you're being boring when you're on the couch. Your brain misses the action. Your brain wants more action. Your brain wants to stay in motion. So you're trying to shut down for sleep, but your brain still wants to run. So what do? Are you reaching for your phone to scroll while you're watching TV? Maybe you have your laptop out to send one last email before bed. And then this time of night, is this the time of night when the sugar cravings come out like gremlins? The chocolate, the cookies, the ice cream. It's because there's a disconnect because your body is screaming for you to get into that parasympathetic peace state to calm down at the same time that your brain is screaming for more dopamine and wants to keep you in the sympathetic stress state. So there is a disconnect, and it has to fill the gap. So what do? You reach for the old standby. Chocolate equals comfort. Ice cream equals comfort. Sugar equals comfort. And there's more. It's not just the day-to-day stress that's causing this. A lot of women I work with, they have underlying trauma that the brain wants to protect. Now, that's completely beyond the scope of this week, but I do want to mention it because it's extremely important. They have learned this predictable pattern over the years. Chocolate equals safety. Ice cream equals safety. Sugar equals safety. Do you think that if you were to begin to regulate your nervous system and have more moments, I'm not saying a forever thing, I'm saying if you just had more moments in the parasympathetic peace state instead of the sympathetic stress state, that you would begin to feel more calm and these cravings might be a little bit less? Are you starting to understand why just focusing on the calories and the diets, that it's just doomed to fail? And why willpower doesn't even stand a chance? Are you starting to understand that if I just gave you a list of here's what to do or here's what to eat, that your brain is going to rebel and you're just going to be right back to being stuck? I want you right now, right this second, I want you to catch your barking pug at this moment. What is coming up for you now? Feel free to hit pause. Feel free to take some notes. Are you thinking, yeah, but Holly, you don't understand my life and all the responsibilities I have. Yeah, but Holly, I tried that self-care mumbo jumbo and it never works. Yeah, but Holly, I can't slow down or everything I'm responsible for will crumble. Okay, first of all, we are going to leave the self-care and the bubble baths for Moonfluff. Secondly, this process, it's about giving you the tools that work with your crazy life. So we are going to start with 6 things that you can experiment with. Again, this was 2/3 of day 1 inside Quit Sugar in 5 days, so you can get a sneak peek and decide if you want to join, because all of the really good stuff, it's on the inside. If you're interested in putting an end to those sugar cravings, click the link below this video, and that's going to take you to another page where you can join Quit Sugar in 5 days, and I'll see you on the inside.